smoke the dizzy, but we can always share some ditsies. It's just a cup in time. This song doesn't have to rhyme. Life's all of us, not every moment we can be feeling fine. I wanna share a moment, just a second if you will, maybe even a cup of thrill. We could share this performance. It's tea time, come sit with me.
Well, welcome guys. Miss Liz in the house. That's right. I was not here this afternoon because my guest is rescheduled. Emergency life things happen and we get them back on. That tea time will be either a Monday or Friday, so stay tuned to Miss Liz's Facebook page and I'll update you on that. But tonight we have Dwayne Brenna in the house and we're going to talk about his tea. And his tea tonight is versatile, poet, and accessible. That's the tea we're serving in the house. But before we get started, you guys know how Miss Liz rolls. Get over to the Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Spotify, YouTube, LinkedIn, all of those good platforms. Give those a like, follow, and subscribe, and get these tea times out there because they do help the guests and help people who resonate with the stories that are being shared tonight. The disclaimer for Miss Liz's Tea Time live show. Miss Liz's Tea Time is a global platform dedicating to sharing real-life stories, diverse perspectives, and meaningful conversations that inspire awareness, healing, and connection. I'm Miss Liz is going live using StreamYard. Before leaving a comment during the live broadcast, please grant StreamYard permission to display your name at StreamYard.com. Please be advised that all the content brought forward during any Tea Time show is presented in good faith. However, discussions may include opinions, beliefs, and perspectives that do not necessarily represent the views of Miss Liz or the Tea Time platform. Information shared by guests is based on their own experiences and is perceived to be accurate at the given time of airing. All guests and viewers and participants are responsible for using their own good judgment when considering any action or decision that may relate to these discussions. Some episodes may cover sensitive topics, including but not limited to trauma, abuse, grief, mental health, and other emotionally triggering subjects. Listeners' and viewers' discretion is strongly advised. Tea Time with Miss Liz is an open discussion forum designed to offer insight, inspire awareness, and create connection. It is not a substitute for professional, medical, legal, or therapeutical advice. If you require professional support, please seek assistance from qualified professionals or trusted resources in your area. If you have questions regarding this disclaimer or the content of the discussion, you are welcome to contact me, aka Miss Liz, directly at my email at bookingmissliz@gmail.com or check out my link tree at Miss Liz's Tea Time. By choosing to participate in, comment on, or view these live shows, you acknowledge and accept this disclaimer. Your participation is entirely voluntary. I, Miss Liz, welcomes you to join the conversation with an open heart, and if at any time you feel this platform is not right for you, I respect your decision and welcome you back whenever you are ready. Tea Time with Miss Liz is serving truth and awareness one cup at a time. Well, welcome to Tea Time with Miss Liz, where powerful stories meet powerful conversations. Today's guest takes us into the frozen heart of history, where mystery, justice, and human resilience collide. Please join me in welcoming Dwayne Brenna, an award-winning author and storyteller who brings the past vividly to life. Dwayne is the author of The Laundryman, a gripping historical mystery set in the Canadian frontiers of 1883. His writing emerges readers in a world of tension, secrecy, and survival, where lawmen, communities, and moral choices are tested in the harsh reality of the Northwest Territories. Through carefully crafted characters and powerful storytelling, Dwayne explores themes of justice, redemption, and the complexity of human nature. His work reminds us that even in the coldest landscapes, the human spirit continues to wrestle with truth, loyalty, and the search for justice. So grab your cup and lean in. Today's Tea Time takes us into history, mystery, and the stories that remind us how the past still echoes in the present. Let me get Dwayne in here and let's spill some tea. Welcome, Dwayne.
Hi there, Miss Liz. I've got my teacup ready, so
I got mine here too. I got a big mug tonight. I'm a big drinker tonight. So, Dwayne, let's start with the first rabbit hole of Miss Liz. Who is Dwayne as a little guy and who's Dwayne now?
Oh, Dwayne, as a little guy, was was a farm boy from central Saskatchewan. My grandfather was a dryland farmer out there and a homesteader. In 1905, he came to this country. Um, he was born in 1884, which is a year after the novel The Laundryman is set. So part of what interested me in the period was to learn what was the world that my grandfather was born into. I had the pleasure of working alongside of him on the family farm until I was about 15 years old. So this dates me a little bit, but I actually knew quite well somebody who was born in 1884.
Oh my goodness.
But yeah, I was a farm kid. I was a shy a fellow. Not a lot of books around the place, so I came to writing in high school. And got interested in literature there. I had a great teacher by the name of Terry Chamberlain, who brought me along, and got me writing. And I actually, right out of high school, I published it was a piece of nonfiction about a friend of mine who liked to hang glide. But he did his hang gliding behind snowmobiles, which I don't recommend. At any rate, I wrote an article
The
about
good old Canadian people. They're crazy.
it was on skis behind a snowmobile, and gradually up in the air. Yeah, I sold this to a magazine here in Saskatoon called The Western Producer. And I can remember coming in and talking to the publisher of The Western Producer at the time. And he asked me, he said, "Do you want to be a writer?" And I said, "Yeah." And he said, "I think you should go to Hollywood and you should start writing for the Beverly Hillbillies." So
That's a good show.
I don't know if he thought I was a hillbilly or a writer, but there was this rube of a kid just sitting before him, and he was a nice fellow. Rusty McDonald was his name. So yeah, I mean, I was like, as a kid, I was more interested in athletics and things like that. Played baseball and hockey all the time, and didn't have a lot of time to spend writing things down. so that all came along quite a bit later. I took a creative writing class. For some reason, I don't know what the reason was, I decided to become an English major in university. And I ended up, I was not a stellar student, but I ended up taking a creative writing class and published a bunch of things out of this class, and actually got a scholarship to go to a college down in the States to do a creative writing program. But I had at that time also taken a drama class at the University of Saskatchewan here, and I fell in love with the theater. And so 3 years later, I was at Stratford at the festival, and then I got a call back from the university, and they wanted me to teach drama. And so ended up doing a PhD in theater history, and taught in the drama department at the University of Saskatchewan for 39 years. I retired only a few years ago, which, got me back to my original passion, which was writing. I'd always written things, even while I was working as a professor, but it got me back full time, and I'm really enjoying this period of my life where I have lots of time to write. It's been good.
Well, that's good. Well, Dwayne, let's get into this book. I'm going to pull up the book so the viewers and listeners can see what book we're talking about. And then we have some questions that are coming in about this book. So the book is called Laundryman. How did you get the name of Laundryman?
Well, the book is about two mounted policemen, Northwest mounted policemen in 1883. And it starts with them riding from Battleford to Prince Albert Settlement, what is now called Prince Albert, Saskatchewan. in October of that year. And on the way, they encounter a snowstorm, a blizzard, which almost kills them. But it's an early winter storm, and through the book, they have to deal with a bitterly cold winter. The laundryman in question is the laundryman from Prince Albert. He's a character who's been gunned down in his in the laundry's backyard, even before the novel starts. So one of the characters, the narrator, is a surgeon. His name is Virgil Montgomery, and he's tasked with doing a post-mortem on the body. And much of the novel is about his musings over, who this man was, what his life was like, and so forth. The book is also a little bit about washing one's dirty laundry. That theme recurs.
I knew there was laundry in there somewhere.
It recurs through the book. So that's in there as well. But the laundryman that brings these two ill-matched mounted policemen, Virgil Montgomery, the surgeon, he's 24 years old, and is much more senior, wizened police officer named Belvedere, Corporal Belvedere, who's, while Montgomery has an oath to protect life and save it, Belvedere doesn't seem to have any problem with violence or with taking life, in fact. And so that's the crux of the collision of values that occurs in the novel. These two characters who have to learn to exist alongside one another, despite the fact that they are at opposite ends of the value system. So yeah, that's where the laundryman, where the title comes from.
So we have a question here for you, Dwayne. It's amazing storytelling. What inspired the laundryman?
Well, it's interesting. I mean, there were a couple of incidents that did this, but one is that I was in my former life as a drama professor, I was doing some research about Northwest Mounted Police theatricals. I got quite interested, and there was a plethora of plays that policemen would perform, sometimes in their barracks and sometimes in the towns that they were settled in. And I got very interested in one particular Mountie, and his name was R.B. Nevitt, Surgeon R.B. Nevitt. And
I like his name.
Yeah. Nevitt came out to Lethbridge, not to Battleford or Prince Albert, but to Lethbridge, and worked as a surgeon there. He was also a painter. You can actually go to the libraries in this country and find books of paintings by R.B. Nevitt, circa 1888, 1890, somewhere in there. But I got interested in him, and I went to the Glenbow Institute in Calgary. They have the archives there. And there's a series of letters that Nevitt wrote to his fiancée. Nevitt was the son of a Civil War veteran from the States. And he was kind of sent up, I think, to Canada to get out of the strife of the Civil War and all of that. And he ended up doing a degree at McGill. And then he had a fiance. He met a girl and had a fiance. She was living in Winnipeg for much of that time. And they wrote letters. And these letters were quite hard to read. They were scribbled on lined paper, but they were written horizontally and then vertically across over the line.
So like I write.
Well, to save paper, And these letters went back and forth, and they were mostly love letters. So, you get to be privy to all of that. But after 5 years, the letter writing stopped, and I wondered if Nevitt had gone back and married her. And I found out in further research that no, he hadn't. He had written in one of his later letters that he had fallen in love with what was then the North Territories and wouldn't be coming back after his first term of duty. And so she broke off the relationship with him, as one might. And there was another 5 years that he spent in Alberta. And, no letters back and forth or anything that I could find. And then I began to wonder what became of the man. And it turns out that he went back east in 5 years after the letters stopped, and found his old fiancée. She hadn't, oddly enough, gotten married to anybody else, and he married her. And then they moved to Toronto, and he became a professor in the medical college at the University of Toronto, R.B. Nevitt.
Wow.
Yeah, so this character really inspired, I think, the novel. As I said, the narrator of the novel is this 24-year-old surgeon who's just new to the force and experiencing life on the force for the first 6 months. The other thing that happened was a buddy of mine was doing some research on music halls in Saskatchewan. And he was telling me a story about a Mountie in Prince Albert who accidentally shot a traveling actor in the foot while they were in the. I thought this scene never appears in the novel, but I thought, okay, Prince Albert. The reason I think for Prince Albert, for that setting, is that it's I've been a fan of Western novels. Cormac McCarthy and others, but none of them were set in Canada, and it's almost like we didn't have a frontier up here, which we certainly did, and none of them were set in snowstorms, and so I wanted a very cold Prince Albert setting for my story.
So, Dwayne, we have a question here for you, and it's the 1883 settle sounds fascinating. How much research was involved in this book?
Yeah, well, there was quite a bit of research, and I think every writer asks himself or herself before they start writing what gives them the right to write this novel. And I didn't feel I had that right until I did a fair bit of research. So I started with library research, and I found, interestingly enough, there was a master's degree thesis from the University of Saskatchewan called Prince Albert 1870 to 1914. It's written by a guy named Gary Abrams, and it's a short document, maybe 120 pages long, but it was so chock full of historical detail that much of it appears, in the novel. Now, I want to make the caveat that if you're writing historical fiction, it can never become just a history lesson. The emphasis is purely on the fiction. The historical part is just there to add verisimilitude. But that research was very helpful in kind of inspiring me to write about Prince Albert. One of the things that Abrams says in one of his very first chapters is that Prince Albert was a town that was full of wild dogs in the 1880s. Dogs everywhere, not just wild, but newly feral dogs that have just been set free in the countryside. And so in this novel, the first time Belvedere and Montgomery enter the laundry where the murder has taken place, there's a feral dog inside that scares the jeepers out of them. so that's there. I did a lot of traveling around the Prince Albert. You can now go and see the Northwest Mounted Police jail cells. That's just about all that's left of anything that the Mounties had in 1883. But the jail cells are still there. And then, of course, I went to Battleford, which has a much stronger tradition of Northwest Mounted Police history. Of course, the Fort Battleford is still there. You can still see Herchmer's house, Colonel Herchmer, who was the person in charge. You can still, I believe, you can see some of the barracks still in Battleford. So there was much of that, and then, of course, I had to learn a lot of stuff about Mountie history. Some of that you can find on the internet. Other things you had to go to books for. But even to know, what kinds of handguns the Mounties carried in 1883. In Belvedere's case, it's an Enfield revolver. But I had to be very clear on that. And what I started to learn when I was researching it was that the Enfield was quite an unreliable revolver. After years of use, it often, just because of the way the gun was cocked, it often would not shoot straight. So
nothing shoots straight in Canada.
these guys with all their violent tendencies, still had guns that couldn't shoot straight. So that's the kinds of research that I did. But I'd say I did about 6 months of research while I was writing before I was writing the piece, and then a fair bit of research just comes up as you're writing it as well, because you get into a situation where you've got to know something, just about how what the medical kit of a Northwest Mounted Police surgeon would consist of, for example. Those are things that I learned along the way.
So, Dwayne, besides the library, where can people get the research for? We have a question here. How did you research the Canadian frontier for this story? Besides the library, did you check out the jail cells and stuff like that? Schools, papers, history?
Yeah. I certainly went, to the jail cells themselves, to the fort where these guys originate from, and go back to at the end of the novel to the fort in Battleford. I had a little bit of a leg up. When I was a young guy, I got a job as a living history interpreter at Fort Carleton, which was a rather important fort during the Northwest Resistance. What I did in that job was I baled copious amounts of buffalo hides, which is partly what was done in Fort Carleton before the 1880s. And yes, I also had school groups that would show up, and I would race them to the top of the hill with the cross on it by the fort. One day I made everybody split pea soup, which was a kind of a
that's a good soup.
Not the way I made it. This was in the days before COVID, and I remember we drank this soup out of a common wooden ladle.
Oh, okay.
I caught the worst childhood disease. I don't know what it was, but I couldn't shake it for about a month and a half. Some kind of a flu. But yeah, I did that. Traveled the route myself from or the current the modern routes from Battleford to Prince Albert to see what that would be like. I didn't do it on horseback. I did it by car.
You use a dog sled?
Didn't use any dog sleds, no.
The good old frontier. Come on, they had dog sleds back then, did they not?
Oh yeah, they did. No, absolutely, they were trapping with dog sleds all the time up there. So, and I don't know if you know this about Prince Albert, but I believe they still have a winter carnival, which involves dog sledding. And if you travel up to a place called Waskesiu National Park, this is a park that Grey Owl helped develop, which is 50 miles north of Prince Albert. You will still see along the way people advertising dog sled rides in the winter.
Yeah, we just had something down in my area with dog sleds. We had an event or something. A bunch of dog sleds came here, and that for the kids. Dwayne, we have a question here. What character was the most challenging to develop for this story?
Oh, that's a very good question. I would say Montgomery, because his voice is throughout the book. I mean, he narrates the book in the first person. So I would say, getting him right was the most important thing and the hardest to develop. The other character that was a little difficult to develop, it was the villain, and I won't name him.
You have to buy the book.
Yeah, you gotta buy the book. But when you create a villain in a murder mystery, you want to have some sense of sympathy for him. You want to have some rational reason why he would have done what he did. And of course, I always believe you should start a murder mystery knowing exactly how this murder was committed. So there was that. I mean, and it's, what makes it more difficult is that you want to signpost along the way, who might have murdered this person, but and also to create 3 or 4 or 5 other plausible candidates for the murder. But you want to make it seem inevitable by the end of the novel that, of course, the person who was the villain did it, and you should have known all along as a reader. That's the kind of feeling you want your reader to have. So that makes that character a little difficult to create.
Well, and Dwayne, you said that there was some dirty laundry in this book. So is the dirty laundry part of the murder?
Well, the dirty laundry is really the secrets that this town has kept.
Oh.
I just did a launch up in Prince Albert, and I had to say, Prince Albert is a nice town. It probably always was a nice town, but in this murder mystery, it can't be such a nice town. So, it's the dirty laundry is all the secrets that the town has, whether that's secrets about the local minister who. I'm letting a little of the cat out of the bag now, but he's had an affair with one of his congregants. The wife.
So Dwayne is spilling the tea right now for all of you guys.
Yeah. Luckily, I'm not holding the cup. But I mean, in 1883, and this is historical fact, in 1883 there was actually no barracks in Prince Albert. And so Mounties were just billeted out. And in this case, in the case of Belvedere and Montgomery, they are billeted out in the minister's house, and they become quite fond of the minister's wife in the course of the novel. But then this secret comes out. It's just one of many that show up in the course of the novel. So yeah, I think the back cover says something about secrets buried in the snow. I'm not sure I buried them in the snow, but they're
well, this question that's coming in now, Dwayne, I want to get it out to you. I think it's a pretty juicy question. Did any real events influence the plots of this novel?
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, it's again a very good question. 1883, of course, is 2 years before the Riel Rebellion, which was the only civil war really fought in this land that I live in, and fought only 50 miles from where I'm sitting right now. What became apparent just looking at the newspapers of the town at the time was that there were all sorts of land meetings in the town hall, which was called Treston Hall at the time. And a lot of people unhappy and writing letters about land issues. Of course, Métis land issues came to the fore in this period as well, but also even homesteaders, who showed up weren't quite aware of, whether they had title to the land that they were on. And even the people who owned lots in the town of what is now Prince Albert were unclear whether they would still have title to that land, once all of that was settled. The whole land issue is key in the thing. It's also historically relevant that the telegraph hadn't arrived in Prince Albert in 1883. It was just on its way, and so it got there before 1885, before the resistance took place. And the other thing was the railroad, and Prince Albert in 1883 had every right to think that it was going to be the capital of these Northwest Territories. And it felt that because the river, the North Saskatchewan River, had been the main transportation route into the territories at the time. They thought that would still be the case, at least in summer, when the river wasn't frozen over. And they thought the railroad would trace along the side of the river, and that Prince Albert would become a kind of a national hub, would proceed then from Prince Albert on to Edmonton and then up to Whitehorse. And the other thing, Prince Albert had all these natural resources. It had unlimited supplies of lumber just to the north of the river, right directly to the north of the river. If you go to Prince Albert now, you'll still see all those trees north of the river. And south of the river, there was fertile land that farmers were on.
And Dwayne,
so they were happy about that. But what happened, of course, was that Governor Dewdney, who owned land in Regina, or what is now Regina, decided to speculate upon that land, and he managed to coerce the government to bring the railway through Regina on the southern route, right at that period, right in the early 1880s. So much of the novel has to do with the hoped-for coming of the railway to Prince Albert, and then the surprise and unhappiness that the railway has decided to take another route.
And Dwayne, what message do you want the readers to take away from the story?
Well, I want it first and foremost to be a murder mystery that they are able to follow. When one writes a murder mystery, you do come up with themes that you want your readers to understand, and one of the themes that occurs in the novel is that there's a different kind of justice for the rich than there is for the poor. And this is played out in many ways throughout the novel. The characters, the two main characters, discuss it, and believe it to be true. So that theme, is highlighted through the novel. Generally, if you write a murder mystery, that's what you ask yourself. What is this story really about? And once you find out what it's about, justice for the rich is different from justice for the poor. Then you tend to hit that theme pretty hard throughout the novel.
Dwayne, I'm going to bring up the book again, because when I look at the book, it looks like my dad walking to the farmhouse. It just brings back a memory of my dad going to my grandpa's house on the farm in Canada. Like, how did you get the cover of your book?
Well, it's interesting. We Shadowpaw Press published the book. Shadowpaw is a lovely little press here in Regina, Saskatchewan. Initially, the publisher, Ed Willett, and I had decided on another cover, which we liked. And it was a sort of a Saskatchewan scene with a handprint, a bloody handprint over the
I kind of like this one better.
Yeah. Well, that's exactly what Literary Publishers Group decided when they saw the thing. They said, we will make this a hot winter title, but we'll only do so if you change the cover. And so Ed sent the ideas and the book along to a cover artist in England. And so that's where this came from. This artist then sent back 3 mock-ups of covers. This was the one that both Ed and I liked the best. It's, of course, a Mountie, Belvedere, I think, in a buffalo coat and a muskrat hat, peering into a window in a bleak kind of northern setting, snow on the roof and everything else. So I really liked everything about the cover. It's not a warm, summery book.
Yeah, it reminds me of that character. I can't think of his name, but he wore that muscat hat with the tail. David Crockett. Is it David Crockett? That's what it reminds me of when you said the muscat hat. I was just like, Davy Crockett.
Yeah, the publisher has asked for a sequel already, and so I've started writing it, and it's set entirely in the summer in a place called Wolverine Creek, which is also a historical place here in Saskatchewan. It's actually, if you were in this province and were 2 miles out of Humboldt, you would be in a place called Wolverine Creek, which was a telegraph station and one house, and it was the place where General Middleton amassed his men in advance of the resistance. It was a place where Chief Whitecap was kept prisoner during that time as well. And in the sequel, these 2 Mounties will ride again, not through blizzards, but through swarms of mosquitoes and black flies, which were quite common in Saskatchewan in the summers, and still are. And they're riding out in search of, trying to figure out the disappearances of several people in that part of the world. And I think disappearances of homesteaders and such were not uncommon, largely because they would get out to a plot of land in Saskatchewan and decide it wasn't for them, and they would just move on to Edmonton or Vancouver, and nobody would hear from them again. Yeah. In our case, it's a more nefarious set of disappearances. But yeah, that's going to be a summer book.
There we go. So he's got the winter book, he's got the summer book, then you need a fall and a spring.
Yeah.
We got a question here for you, Dwayne, and it is, how do you balance history with fiction in your writing?
That's also a good question. To my To my taste, I think history always has to come second. The reader's interested in the fiction more than history. That having been said, I think it's important that a writer, if he's going to be working in this genre, tries to make it as accurate as possible in terms of historical fact. I won't say that there aren't instances where I've massaged factual history a little bit so that it fits into my book. But by and large, the history is there to give a sense of verisimilitude to the reader. Okay, I've heard of Colonel Herchmer. I know about Prince Albert. And so you don't want to, as a writer, say anything that's going to be completely off base with the history of the time. But at the same time, you're not writing a history lesson for people. You're writing a murder mystery. And
don't forget the murder, guys.
Yeah. That's what
there is a murder in this book.
That's what people want to figure out, and that's what I think keeps them coming. That's where the tension and the suspense is.
We have a comment here, Dwayne. It says the story feels so cinematic. Any plans for adaptations?
Oh man, David, if you're a screenwriter, I will send you the novel myself to do a screenplay on. I would love to see this turned into a movie. This is, oddly enough, been a question I've been asked quite a bit in the past month in the book launches that we've done, because I've read the opening scene, and it's quite a cinematic scene in itself. What actors would I want to put in those roles? And I just there's.
But you haven't told us much about the villain, and you said people have to buy the book. But who would you get as an actor for the villain?
Oh, that's a good question. I haven't even thought about the villain so much. I was thinking more about Belvedere and Montgomery, and somebody like Mads Mikkelsen would. I don't know if you are a fan of Mads, but he would make a pretty good Belvedere, I think. For the villain, that's that
might give us an insight of what the book's about there, Dwayne.
Yeah, it might. It could be
a giveaway.
Well, a bit of a giveaway. I was thinking of that, trying to think of the name of the actor, but I saw a Stephen King movie a while ago about a young man dying. I've forgotten what the movie's called, but the actor in that movie would make a good villain in my book.
Put a little bit of Stephen King twist on it.
Yeah.
Now you got to go get the book. Come on, guys.
Are you a fan of Stephen King, Miss Liz?
I am. I don't like horror, but my kids think it's funny when they watch horror with me. And Stephen King, I think he makes good shows. He scares the living crap out of me, but he makes good shows.
I agree with that. He's got a great book on writing, and it's called On Writing. It's just a wonderful book. So many tips for a writer. He also somewhere in the book decides to write a story about the accident that almost killed him. He was run over by a driver as he was walking along the sidewalks in, is it Vermont? I can't remember which, or Massachusetts maybe, which state he's from. And he tells it from three, well, actually it's three stories. He tells it from three perspectives: his own perspective of his neighbor, who sees him walking along the road and then meets a guy driving rather erratically in a van, turns out to be a drunken driver. And then the third perspective is the perspective of the van driver who ran over him. In itself, it's a great read. I mean, even if the book wasn't full of jewels about, how to become a writer.
Well, we have a question here for you, Dwayne, and it is, how does your theater background, no, I'm not saying that right, influence your writing style? Say that word for me, Dwayne, please. My tongue is not twisting right.
No, you're sounding good. I think no, it's I mean, it's a good question to ask, and it's a tough question for me to answer in a way. I've written a couple of stage plays, but never very good ones. And so for some reason, my mind just doesn't work that way. The idea of writing something that is purely the dialogue of characters talking back and forth, I seem to need to be able to develop settings and landscapes and so forth, before I can really, start in on the dialogue. I would say, what the theater has given me is a sense of a good scene. And, every writer writes in scenes. And by that, I mean a scene that's got a beginning, a climax, and perhaps a little bit of a denouement, So, yeah, that's the way I write. And that's pretty much the way any great playwright writes as well. Just great scenes. I actually, somebody who came to my first launch and then read my book in one day. He was a retired man. He emailed me and said he remarked on one line. He said it takes a certain kind of genius to come up with a line. What was it? A tongue. I call it character.
Here we go with the tongue. The tongue's going in. Tongue twisters.
A tongue-tied, or one character calls another a tongue-tied rabbit slapper. and I'm not sure where that came from, but I do remember as I was sitting down trying to figure out how one character would insult the other, I began thinking of Shakespeare. And of course, Shakespeare had some great insults. I believe there are even compendiums of insults from Shakespeare's plays that you can buy in books all on their own. So I wanted to come up with an insult that would parallel something that Shakespeare might have written. That's probably the only Shakespearean side of the book. But
I always talk about rabbit holes, but tonight we're talking about rabbit slappers.
I don't know where it came from, but
well, Dwayne, I want to talk to you about your tea, because the tea you gave me was versatile, poet, and accessible. Why those three words for your tea?
Well, I mean, versatile. This is a bit of self-promotion. Versatile in that I've written in many genres. I mentioned, a stage play or two. I about 25 years ago or more, I developed a character that became a kind of a mainstream of CBC radio here in Saskatchewan. It was the character's name was Eddie Gustafson, and he was a local handyman in a small town in Saskatchewan. And for 5 years, I became a storyteller of these sort of humorous vignettes on CBC radio. And eventually, I got onto some national broadcasts. I had a Christmas broadcast nationally. I think it was about the year 2000 with this character. So there was humor. I wrote 2 books of poems. Very first book of poems I wrote. I hadn't imagined myself as a poet, but I was becoming a house husband my wife was doing a PhD in Edmonton, and so we moved there for a year. And I just looked after the kids and cooked the meals. And I was working on a theater history text at the same time in the mornings. And then in the afternoon, the kids were at school, and my wife was at school. I'd go to the weight room for an hour. And I came back, and after about 3 days, I got bored. And I thought, what am I going to do with my afternoons? And so I decided I was going to write a poem a day. And I didn't. I thought, I'm going to write about something I'm passionate about. What would that be? And it turned out to be baseball. I thought, I'm really an avid baseball fan. And so I wrote a poem about baseball, one a day. And at the end of that year, I collected the best 50 of them, and I sent them to Hagios Press. And it was the quickest turnaround I've ever seen on a publication. I sent him an email, and 3 days later with the book, and 3 days later he wrote back, said, "Yeah, we're publishing this." And so it was my first book of poetry. So yeah, I've worked in that side of things, done a lot of theater history. Basically McFarland Press out of the United States published a book of mine about 4 or 5 years ago called Nights That Shook the Stage, which is about 40 nights in the theater that changed the course of theater history. I've written other novels, mostly historical novels, and yeah, so that's where I get the idea of versatile from. I'm working right now on a bit of a memoir, which I don't think my life has been all that interesting, but there were certain periods of my life that I think are maybe worthy of memoir, and I'm finding that to be exciting. Somebody asked me just the other day what my favorite form was, and I said, it's the one that I'm working on at the moment, and right now it's just it's memoir. So that's where the versatility idea came from. I'm not sure what were the other 3 things I told you, or the other 2 things.
Well, the poet you took care of because you wrote 2 poem books.
Oh yeah,
and then accessible.
Yeah, and I'd say what makes me accessible is that I write poems that you don't need an Oxford English dictionary to understand.
That's what you told me. Your exact words were, what is it? Straightforward themes which no non-PH can relate.
Yeah.
That is the words he gave me.
Okay, sure. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, when you're writing poems about baseball, you're writing for a baseball audience, and you don't want to have them going to the lexicon for every 3rd word. So yeah, they're fairly straightforward. I also wrote a baseball novel that didn't do well. It was published in the States. I thought it would do much better than it did. Pocal Press in Pennsylvania published this. It's called Long Way Home, and it's about a team of traveling baseball players in 1934, traveling through the Dust Bowl from St. Louis all the way up into Saskatchewan to play baseball. And of course, many stories happen along the way, and much happens to the main character. It's a kind of a tale of redemption for a character who has done something on the baseball field. In this case, he's beaned a batsman and changed that fellow's life, and he's kind of seeking redemption through the novel, and gets some measure of it by the end of it. So again, it's a fairly accessible novel. I think anytime baseball folks enjoy a book and read it, that makes the book fairly accessible.
Well, and I did some searching on you, and I found in 2018 you played for the Red Deer Legends, and you guys won the 57 Old Timers Canadian National Baseball Championship in Charlottetown.
Yeah, that's right.
See,
Yeah.
I do my homework, guys.
Boy, you do your homework. Wow. Yeah. No, I'm going. I'm going to. I'm going. I've been trying to quit, and I've been telling everybody that I played with, I'm done. But I don't know. I keep getting callbacks, and so this year the nationals are in Red Deer, in fact, and I just paid my $80 fee,
So you know where he's going.
so that I can play.
We're getting some home runs here.
I also I go down to, or have, I didn't this past year, but have in the past gone to Fort Myers in Florida. Every year they have the World Series of Old Timer Baseball down there. And if you know anything about old timer baseball, there's about 6 World Series of Old Timers Baseball through the United States, and in I think the Dominican has a World Series. But it's rather good competition, and you get to play on the spring training diamonds. Like I get to play on Boston Red Sox spring training diamond down there last 2 years ago. And I go there with a team from Chicago. A bunch of guys from down there picked me up. So at my age, if you can still run and throw, not that you have to run hard, but still run, you can play.
As long as you can run to one base at a time, right?
That's right. There's no.
It's not all of them at once, a little bit at a time.
Exactly. There's, a double is my maximum. There's no triples in my game anymore.
If he's doing triples, he's doing the rabbit slapper. Dwayne, I also found out that you did 17 plays from 2004 to 2023.
Oh, at least that many. I directed a play every year in the drama department at the university here, and I also directed occasionally, not all that often, but occasionally off campus with other groups. So, yeah, I love directing plays. I have to say, it's been a part of my life for so long, and especially working with students, I really began to feel that I had a facility for bringing good performances out in students, and my method was quite simple. I just would tell them where to enter and where to exit, and ask them to figure it out. And generally I had an idea of how I wanted a scene to go, and often they would just create the scene the way I had imagined. And when that happened, I always said, yeah, that's great, because basically you want the actors to find it themselves, to think it's all their own idea, and to take ownership of the performance, and so that was largely my method. But I kind of prided myself on getting good performances out of student actors during all of that time.
Well, I've had an amazing time tonight with you, Dwayne. An amazing time with all of my listeners out there asking all these amazing questions. I have the best listeners out there. Dwayne, what final message do you have for my listeners tonight? And can you tell everybody where they can get this Laundryman book?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I guess my final message is that, it's a darn good read. And I hope you enjoy it. If you're a writer out there, I hope you get at it. And my method has always been to end what I started. And sometimes that's ended badly for me. Sometimes I write a thing, and at the end of it, I go, "Yeah, I don't think that's going to go anywhere." It didn't in this case. And what I like to do is write a draft at a time, and then rather than getting bogged down in detail, and then after a draft is done, go back and rewrite then. And often those rewrites are rather big when you do it that way, but at least you've got something before you, and something you can take pride in and work on. So that's been my method. But if you're a writer out there, please go at it as hard as you can, and enjoy the process. I quite enjoy, especially at the age I'm at now, being alone in a room with 2 or 8 or 10 characters, and trying to let them tell me, where they want to go in a scene. So, please do that in your own practice if you can. The book is should be available in any bookstore near you. It's available from shadowpawpress.ca, which is my publisher. I know McNally Robinson and Indigo, and even as I know in the UK, bookstores are stocking the book. So you should be able to find it. It's also Shadowpaw and I decided to put out an audiobook version of it, which is narrated by me. So you can go to Audible, and you can actually listen to the first 5 minutes of my dulcet tones if you want a sample of what that book is about. Just go to the Laundryman Dwayne Brenna at audible.ca, and it's there. So you can listen to it if you'd rather do that than read.
Well, thank you so much. It was really amazing. What a fascinating and thoughtful-provoking conversation. Dwayne, thank you for sharing the story behind your work and for reminding us how powerful historical storytelling can be. Through your writing, the past becomes more than dates and events. It becomes human, emotional, and deeply connected to the choices people made in moments of uncertainty. Tonight, we were reminded that history is not only about what happened, but about the people who lived it, struggles through it, and left their stories behind for us to explore and learn from. To everyone listening, here is something to reflect on after this tea time. Sometimes the best way to understand the present is to listen closely to the stories of the past. Until our next cup shared, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep discovering the stories that shaped our world. And I'll see everybody next week, and we'll do this all over again.
Thanks so much for having me, Miss Liz. You were a great host.
Well, thank you so much, Dwayne. I had fun.